So it was interesting coming off of RSAC, which I've worked in the security world for a long time, and there tends to be a bit of a poo-pooing on things that aren't secure. Those dummies that didn't know what they're doing that create something that how could they do that? And there was a lot of snarkiness in the hallway about MCP, and it's gone. And even in the platform engineering community, they're frustrated with it because it's just sort of
Oh,
an
sure.
unwieldy,
Yeah.
like, what do we do with this? And yes, you can, yeah, so you can use OAuth to talk to it, but it's not a two-way. So when it wants to talk to something else, does it need to do it? You need to set
Then
up an
what?
OAuth through that. And now can you sort of violate your RBAC principles of sharing data? There's all kinds of security issues with it. One of the reasons I came, well, one, I was invited, but two, really to get a pulse of what's going on. Where is MCCP headed? Is it the thing of the past and something else is taking over?
Yeah.
We were just kind of happy about it for a year and a half, and now we're going to do something else. But you've heard me call it I call MCP the can opener when all people had was cans of food, but no way to open it.
Right. I love
At
that.
the right
I love
time.
that,
Like,
Mitch.
oh my
Yeah.
God, why didn't somebody
To me,
create
I
this
feel like
earlier?
it's like phone books, because it is like a phone book, is it not? To look things up. And
Oh,
I challenge anyone listening to this to turn around, look around their house, and tell me that there is a phone book sitting anywhere inside.
yeah.
There is not.
I
So
think
yeah,
there's
is
one
it the can
drives the
opener and
internet.
phone book, or is
It
it going
is.
to evolve into something else?
Well, that's a good question. So if you look at kind of listening to the talks, and some of the creators of MCP were there, from one of the Anthropic guys was, but they also had people from other organizations who were, some were maintainers, some were also just frankly users. And one company, I don't want to kind of mention names for this, but because it's on their website. One company had sort of a framework, kind of like my um, agent control plane
Oh
framework, which, by the
yes,
way, just got
nice.
just got published. So, and it was great. I was like, wow, there's some good things in that. I want to borrow from what they've done. And even like Uber had a really fascinating story about how they've been using agents and kind of controlling them and governing them and
Hmm.
managing security. And then also Datadog, who's also been pretty active
Mm,
in this whole AI community. From
okay.
observability standpoint, kind of Datadog and Dynatrace are the two that really stepped out into AI.
Independence.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, that one of their researchers who had worked at Anthropic and Google and several companies been doing this kind of AI on the edge of how do you control it, how do you manage it, all the putting the guardrails in place, etc. So I took it as there wasn't a big, oh my God, we've got to secure MCP or we're all going to die in
That's for
project.
open claw. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, OpenClaw will do that for us. My sense of it is, yeah, people are asking a lot of questions and people would wish it did a lot more. And there may be some question about is it going to be around forever? I don't know the answer to that, but I know one thing is true is people are using it and using it extensively, and it's pushing the boundaries, and people want to get it
Mm,
into production. And that forces what?
yeah.
Okay, we've got to go through our security reviews, how we're going to govern it, compliance, all this stuff, especially in large enterprises. And so
Right.
it's forcing the market or creating an opportunity for the market to step in and say, all right, here's what we're going to do. Here's the control plane we use to manage it. Here's how we're going to do, agents, using policies to manage agents, whatever it is. Is sandboxing enough? No. Is containers enough?
Right.
No. But those are right steps along the way. How do we, in talking to one of the maintainers, I'm like, isn't the real answer is you've got to have isolation. You've got to create an environment where you can containerize or limit what the really know that the agent can't get outside of these bounds, right? It's some